Okay, so today we're going to talk about something related to what we looked at last week. We looked at Houdini and we had an object we created there, and we created alembics and brought it over to cinema. That was the cactus. So today I want to give you talk more about HDAs and use a very simple example, which is simply a sphere that has the option putting two materials on it. Now, here is it's under from the object tab here. We go to, we are in, let's go up. All right, so under object, we have sphere geo, and in there, so that was it's a geo object. And here we have our HDA. Now we know it's an HDA because it has this little red lock thing here. And of course, since we're in the project that was created, it is not locked. So we can take a look at it. So let's go in here. As I said, it's very simple, but it's going to talk about some important concepts. So the first thing we have here is a sphere, and you can see that. Now what I want to do is I want this sphere to be able to have two different materials. And once figuring this out means that I can take it and how to group things and to create different materials and things of that nature. We can do it on any HDA that we create. Now you have to be careful, because if you change certain parameters above, it could affect the groups. So that has to be done carefully to make sure that your group is a function of what is above it. In this case, we're focused on how to group things and how to have two separate materials. So here's our sphere. The first group is created by you select a bunch of the polygons. This is they call them primitives here. They'd be polygons in or faces in cinema. And then what you do is you go into the model tab and you click on group. That'll create this group. This group is what's not in here. So we use a group combine. We're saying group 3 is equal to everything but what's in group 1. So now you have two distinct groups. And we look here, and we have group 1 has 91 primitives, and this group here is going to have, well, it uses group 1 and group 3, so looks like group 3 is 197 primitives. And these are Unreal. This is an Unreal material node, which you'll see when we go into Unreal. This is a pack node. A pack node, essentially what it does is packs geometry into a single primitive. It kind of shrinks how much space it's using, which means you're going to save a lot of memory. So if you look here, notice there's group 1, but there's nothing in it, and there's a one pack geo, and you'll see the same here. Now you have to do this at the end, or this is not going to work. They explain that they cannot be edited. They're basically references. So when I had this above here, it totally above the materials, it totally messed up the materials. I got a bit of a mess here. Now I merged these together, so both sides, and then output it. Very simple. So when we have this how we want, we would right click on this. Whoop. And instead, in digital, I see we have increased major version and increased minor version. Instead, it would say create digital assets. That's the first thing you want to do. Now, the other thing you want to do is create your interface. So notice we have two things. Notice you can't really delete anything here, but what you do is I went into here and I grabbed this string and stuck it in there, and the same for the one here. And you can do this whatever parameters you like. So that is how that works. Now, if you want to delete, I found it's a little different. Let's go back up. Oh, in order to delete, you'd go into, I think it is this. Yeah, type properties, and then you can delete these if you wanted to. So that's how you create your interface, and you can put any parameter in here into your in this tree here, in your HDA into your interface, so that you can control whatever it is you want to control, like the cactus. We can control the height, we can control the width, whatever it is that we wish to control. Again, you have to be careful if you're using groups like this, where you're grouping by polygons, because if the number of polygons change, then you may have an issue. So be aware of that. But like I said, in this case, we're really not going to change that. Now, what we could do, and this should not affect it, is we could, for the sphere, we could change the scale, and that's not going to change the number of rows and columns. So it should stay the same. But anyway, getting back. So this is how we now have an HDA, and we want to bring this thing into Unreal. So all you do, let me show you, is in your Houdini directory. So this is, just so you can see, under Documents, I have a directory, Houdini 9.5, which has all the configurations. Under there, but it goes into OTLS, which is a default, and you would just grab the one you wish. In this case, it's 7.1, which you can see I've been playing with it. And you grab this and you just stick it here, and it's going to run through the plugin. Let me show you the plugin. So under the edit menu, there's plugins, and you can see I've selected that. And when you check it off the first time, it's probably going to make you restart the project to make it active. So by hitting tab here, I go to I can move it. And now I have my Houdini object. Notice it just says relative path. So what we're going to do is take this and stick this here, and take this and stick this here. And what we have to do now, what I've been doing, is I rebuild, I recook. And when you do that, you are gonna come, when you, in the static mesh component, it's gonna show you you've got your static mesh, And right now, for some reason, this did not take. But that is what we can do is, let's see if I can drag it in here this way. And there you go. And you got your pink and you got your, so you can see, actually this looks, So what we're going to do is we're going to bake it and see. That is generally what I've been doing for the, so rebuild, recook, and bake. Bake is kind of what we were doing in when we make an alembic, or we take a bunch of objects and we take a bunch of items and make them an object in Cinema. I'm going to turn this off. You can see, let's look here. Again, static mesh component. And let's bring this in here and see. Bring this up. For whatever reason, this is the default material. It's not bringing in the pink. So let's do new. And just click there. And there you go. So you can see now you have the two different materials on there. I don't know why it sometimes loses it, but you can now have two materials. Let's see. You can see two materials on the sphere. And that's how you would do it if whatever HDA you create, if you group things in the colors that, in the areas that you want the different materials, then you can apply them here in Unreal. So we'll save that, do a save all, and we have our HDA in here. Now, Cinema, unfortunately, is not integrated. It used to be. Don't know why that changed. So you can see here, I brought in an alembic. Let me show you how that was done. Let me go back to Houdini, and we're going to make a new project. So notice here, let me get rid of this and I'll show you how you bring it in. This is already in a geo. It looks, you have to be at the same level from what I can tell. And this is the alembic output. So I tab here. Oop, I hit the wrong button. Tab here. I go to digital assets and you see this is the HDA. I bring it in. Yeah, and connect it up. In this case, we're not going to change anything. Perhaps we might want to, we might have other parameters we want to change. And usually you would. This is just a very simple example to demonstrate roughly, how you create an HDA and how you have put different textures and groups so you can texture it as you wish. And you put this into an alembic. Now, I found that you have to change the name it does not like to write over things, so you just put that little A there. And we're gonna save to disk. Okay, so here is where it is. It's right in here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Cinema right here. I'm going to go back to Cinema right here. And we're going to start this over. I'm going to get rid of this, leaving the dome light and And what I'm going to do is File, Merge Project, and bring this in. And there we go. We have our geo. Now this one we're not going to need, so I'm going to turn that off. And then I'm just going to bring these into the one that we are using. And we're going to start here. And these are the selections. This is group 1, this is group 3. So we're going to drag this in here. And then we're going to go here. And we're going to drag this in here. And let's see what it should work. Now I have this set up for Redshift. Okay, so now we're going to show this in Redshift. Go up here, Redshift Render View, and tell it to go at it. And there you go. You can see, and you can see it's the two different colors here. So that is how it works with Redshift. So we've seen how you make a simple HDA, how you set it up so that you can have different materials, and we've demonstrated that in both Unreal Engine and Cinema 4D. Now, coming up, what I'm going to be doing is I took up Pwnisher's. Pwnisher ran the challenge a few months ago where he gave you a choice of I think it was 20-odd mocaps, and you had to create a scene using that mocap in a character you're choosing. And so I did that, although I spent probably most of my time trying to work on the clothing for my character in Marvelous Designer. And but this one is a vehicle challenge. You have to create a vehicle and show its motion, if you will. So I'll provide the link to his intro video. He also did a live stream for about 3 hours yesterday. And so I'm going to be going through that, how my process in creating my entry. So if you want to see that, you want to see more of this content, then please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I put something up or when I do a live stream. I'd like to be doing some live streaming. And thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.